Hey everybody, welcome to the Gene Pool Variety Hour.
Your geek safe space.
I'm Sean, the older, confused, don't know what I'm doing host, apparently.
And I'm Connor, the your younger and more fashionable co-host who's just along for the ride.
Look, join us as we review some random movies,
Play games,
talk anything geek culture that catches our attention,
and chase a lot of chickens. So let's dive right in.
So welcome to episode 21, is it? 21. And this is our first effort at trying to actually stream this podcast, and obviously it's not going well.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
So we don't know what we're doing. We have friends that stream their podcast. We thought it was a great idea to
on the rig
to do that, to try to get more people interested in listening to the podcast. And it's a lot of moving parts, and I thought I had the process kind of down, gone over it in my head multiple times, and apparently not. Especially when you add in all of the extra bells and whistles and bandwidth issues and all of that, it has not been going well. So I'm just sitting here just looking at stuff and watching things as they go by and letting my friends take pity on us and be nice to us. Yeah. So anyway, this is the new thing that we're trying to do. Now, I don't know how well it's going to go. I don't know if we're going to do it more than today. I don't know. But
I say it's going to be good. Good. You just got to keep a positive mindset, you know?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So anyway.
Be positive. Be positive. Be positive.
The last image I want to have in my head is you in a cheerleading outfit doing cheerleading cheers and stuff. That's the last thing I want to see.
Go team.
Okay. So anyway, first things first. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's Connor's 24th birthday today. So we've just been kind of doing lots of
stuff I want to do.
Yeah. We've played some Super Fight today.
We played some video games.
Oh, God, we ate lots and lots of pizza. You know, so here's the thing. So Connor works for a pizza place.
Marco's Pizza.
Okay. And
authentic Italian way.
And he was going to get some pizzas ordered for today, and he did. And worked an extra shift yesterday, and so the manager actually bought
a full 10 hours, no break.
So the manager actually bought one of the pizzas for him, and so I'm expecting
a full order of pizzas.
I'm expecting him to come home with 3 pizzas and some cheesy bread or something like that. He comes home with 6 pizzas
and some cheesy bread and some wings.
There's 5 people in my family.
You can never have enough pizza. Pizza is the food of the gods.
Okay, so one of the last things Connor should do is work for a pizza joint. We need you need a different job that doesn't involve food.
It's a good thing I'm moving away in a few months.
Yeah, let's just hope that you don't end up getting a job at Marcos, Ohio division when you move there.
I did save their job on Indeed, so there's a possibility.
So anyway.
No,
the reality is that that today's his birthday, and we played some D&D. We did a lot of different kind of things, and so we're just kind of getting into this now. And so, yeah, it's getting kind of later than we normally want to do.
But it's still gonna be fun.
Well, we'll see. So we do have.
I'll make it fun if I have to. I will make you laugh.
What are we doing today? What do you want to do today?
Let's see. How about to kick things off? What's your favorite memory of me in honor of my birthday?
Do you really want me to go there?
Yes.
I really don't think you want me to go there. I have some really good, funny memories of you that we can laugh about now. We cried a lot about them when you were little, so no, I'm not going to go there.
Okay, think of a clean one at least.
A clean one? Favorite memory of you? I don't know, probably at that D&amp when you were doing the cup stacking and won the cup stacking thing and everybody freaked out.
Oh, yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Growing up, I was really into this cup stacking trend, and I had an official play mat, a timer, or a speed stack cups. I think my best time for doing the the classic 363, and then 66, and then 10 was, I believe, I think 16 seconds and something milliseconds. I'm like 90% sure that's what it was.
Anyway,
I got really good at it when
that's the first clean one I can think of.
I think I got really good at it when I just did it in a constant loop while watching Nazca and the Valley of the Wind.
I didn't. Okay, you asked for a memory. I didn't ask for an explanation of the whole process of cup stacking.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway,
okay, let's
so
see.
my next favorite memory.
Yeah.
When you moved to Ohio.
Oh, that hits me in the feels. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss you too, Pop.
There's a funny side to that, and there's a serious side to that. The funny side of it is, I want you out of my house because you're an adult.
I know.
Second,
I'm trying.
The serious part is, I'm ready for you to start living your adult life like the rest of us do. So
with my beautiful fiance.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's actually do the
all
podcast.
right, so we've had the whole birthday thing. We've done the whole birthday memory thing. We've done the funny stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so we got a couple of things we need to do today.
Oh, yeah,
right? We didn't really pick a third one this time, but we got the two things. We got the movie and we got the
Geek Question.
The Geek Question that we want to do.
A really good
so,
one.
As far as what you want to do, what do you want to do, and how do you want to do it, and where do you want to go?
Let's see. I say we jump right into the Geek Question, and then after that we go right into the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
nice and simple.
You are the owner of the Geek Questions part of this podcast. So go.
All right. So this week our Geek Question is: would you rather live as a D&D character in which all of your actions are determined by dice rolls, or live as a video game character and have all of your actions controlled by an unknown third party?
Oh, by the way, this is not coffee. I'm just saying.
It's water, right? It's water. Wink, wink.
Well, it's got some color to it, but yeah, it's liquid.
Tea. It's tea, of course. Or it's your old
from Long Island, tea. Maybe. So anyway, you and I started talking about that the other day, and that question goes in a couple ways. My first reaction was just go with the D&D character. It's completely rational and objective. It's just your life is just based on dice rolls of somebody else rolling the dice. But then I got
controlled chaos.
Well, yeah, but then you get to thinking you kind of want them, because based on where we come from in our background and our faith background, we believe that there's somebody out there, not controlling us, but there's somebody out there that is a creator and a designer who designed our lives the way they are. And so we kind of believe more the video game character per se. Right. There's somebody, kind of guiding your life. Mm-hmm. But he's pretty benevolent.
Yeah.
I've played
lawful good.
I've played video game characters. I mean, I've played video games before where I have made my people that I play in these games do horrible things. Just
Fable.
out of whim, just to make them do stupid things.
A great example, the Fable series.
Yeah, so I don't think I want someone controlling me like a video game character, because I guarantee you they're going to be probably as nasty as I was to my characters that I control. I want someone who's benevolent, and I can't trust that. So I'd probably stick with the dragon dice thing and just, it's just strict, objective, roll the dice. What happens, strict probability. That's probably what I would go with.
Unless you have a very loose DM, no, kind of like me.
That could go in different directions.
Someone who's a little bit more looser with the rules and rigidity of dice rolls,
I wasn't really talking about that kind of definition of loose, but
I know.
Okay. Hey, you're an adult now, man. So, and you want to be the DM and you want to be a loose DM, I can't control that. So anyway, so what's your thought? What's your answer?
Honestly, I feel uncomfortable with the possibility of anything happening. Of absolutely anything happening. Of just by chance. I would rather have someone control me in a way that are bound in a bit more stricter kind of rules, because in D&D anything can happen. Literally anything can happen.
Right.
And in video games there's kind of rules and codes and programs kind of set in place to kind of help give you a little bit more control in a way, you know?
Yeah, but I don't.
I would just
I
rather
wouldn't want
feel
my
like,
life controlled by someone just based on their whim. You know, I mean, think about Gladiator, the movie Gladiator, right? Okay.
haven't seen it.
I didn't raise my child right. He hasn't seen Gladiator. We've had it for years in the living room, and he's never watched it.
I've seen clips.
I have failed my son on so many different levels, but that's one of them. So, in Gladiator,
Okay.
Joaquin Phoenix plays
Joaquin Phoenix, who's that?
the guy. Oh my God! Can we just shut the stream down now? Can we just shut the stream down now, please?
I know who Joaquin Phoenix is. He's Joker, right?
Yeah, among many other things. Yes. Anyway, so he plays the emperor.
Emperor.
Okay. His father was emperor before him, and he killed him. He killed his father, strangled him, and then he became emperor. And then they would go to the gladiator games.
Yeah.
And then someone would win the gladiator games, you know, or whatever. And then he would literally just sit there and go, okay, thumbs up or thumbs down. You live or you die. And it's just based on whatever his mood was.
I know that premise is of Gladiator.
Okay, I don't want someone controlling my life that could just sit and go, yeah, I don't like you today. I'm just going to kill you. That's okay, cool. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you that. Whatever. I wouldn't want that. I would rather it be more... Because I can't trust the person guiding my life, I can't trust who they are, I would want just the dragon dice.
But
just be
but then
clear
that's
with it.
But then that's the thing. You don't know your actions will be controlled by by the third party. You don't know they're being controlled by it.
Right. You don't know that, but you also don't know that it's going to be controlled by someone good. There's a chance that it's going to be controlled by someone pretty evil, right?
I know.
Right? So, let's say 50-50 chance.
No, but no, Dad. No, in general, you won't know someone in general is controlling your actions. You'll think these actions are your own. That's the same with every avatar we've ever played in any video game.
Okay, yeah, but I guess my thing is I would rather just it be straight based on chance.
Okay.
Than take the chance of someone evil controlling my life.
That's my
I'm
just
thing.
optimistic, you know.
Yeah.
That's me, Connor McKay, the eternal optimist.
You are, and that's good. I mean, you have that heart that's going to love and believe anybody at any time, always.
I'm smarter now. Now, I used to be really, really gullible.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm now not as gullible. Not as, still kinda. I'm still trying to retain some of my innocence and failing.
I don't want to know what that failed innocence is. I don't want to know. La 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 la. I am not listening to you. And yes, you are a grown ass man because you're 24, but I don't want to know because you're still my son. I don't want to know.
It's nothing like that.
Okay, well, even if it's not, I just don't want to know. So anyway,
no, this is quality content right here. No, this is quality content.
Whatever your definition of quality is, I don't know, but so
Not
okay.
rambling.
So where do we fall? Then you fall on. I want somebody to control me like a video game.
Yes.
And I want somebody to control me based on not random. It's not random. It's just strict probability. Statistical probability.
Controlled chaos.
But it's not chaos though. It's not chaos. It's complete. It's very ordered. It's just random, but it's ordered. There's no chaos to it.
Anything can happen based on your role.
Sure, but that's
where the chaos comes from. The uncertainty of what could happen. You know.
I don't know that I'd call that chaos though. Maybe, but I wouldn't call it chaos. I would just call it just straight statistical probabilities. And I'm a scientist. Granted, your mom would call it a soft science psychology, but I do live with the statistical scientific method of research and statistics and statistical probability. So I feel more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Than someone writing an article and go, you know what? This is what I believe, so this is what we're going to teach from now. Because that's what I think. Because what I've,
That's kind of what people have done in the past, though.
it's kind of what people are doing today a lot.
Yeah.
No matter what side of the aisle you're on, people.
Internet trolls. Excuse me.
I wasn't talking about internet trolls. I'm talking more politicians and whatever, any celebrities and whatever.
Donald Trump. Excuse me.
Oh God, don't.
Sorry.
This is the geek safe space. We don't do politics. Remember, we avoid that stuff like the plague.
Check the chat.
Oh, it's just Travis. He's either if he's still listening, and he may not be, but if he's just kind of listening. He's probably doing just hey, how's things working? What's going on? This kind of stuff. Yeah. But here's the thing that I'm really happy with, and like I said, I don't know if Travis is still listening, but at the beginning, we had tons of issues with bandwidth and it freezing, and I was able to figure out some settings.
It looks like it's going pretty well.
Fine.
I told you it would go fine.
Yeah. Anyway. Do you keep doing what I think you keep doing?
What?
Doing this?
No.
Oh, you sure? It certainly looks like it. Yes, that. That's like the third time I've seen you do that. So, oh, God. I just saw it on the screen again. So, don't do that. That's just...
He did.
No, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. No. So, anyway, this is great audio for the podcast, I'm sure, because they're like, what are they talking about? So, anyway,
I'm fixing my man boobs.
Okay. I was trying to save you from not having to tell the audio people that, but there you go.
Dad, I don't give a crap.
Well, okay. So, all right. So then, is that it? Is that it for the geek question?
Do you by chance want to talk in more depth about it? What do you think?
No, I mean I think we're fine.
Is there anything else you might want to talk about before we get into the movie? Anything at all?
No, I mean not about the geek question. No, no, I don't think so. So,
what is your biggest pet peeve when playing D&D?
My biggest pet peeve when playing D&D.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess probably people that try to bend the rules or break the rules. I mean, I get trying to be creative and find creative solutions around things.
Yeah.
And that's part of the whole role-playing thing.
Yeah.
But when people just kind of...
bullcrap their way through things?
No, they kind of break rules and say, oh, well, because I did this and this and this, I can do that. Well, no, not really, but then they keep saying that they can because of some loophole that they say they found. I don't like people that try to do that. I'm like, you know what? Just play by the game. Play by the dice. Obey the dice.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me.
And I've fallen prey to that as well before. I mean, I'll admit. I mean, there have been times when I've had a character that I didn't want to die that died.
Yeah.
And I didn't want them to die. Sure. I mean, we all fall prey to that temptation. But I guess that's probably it. Or okay, here's another one. When people. Because I'm all about laughing and having a good time and goofing off when I'm playing D&D. You not so much. You stay pretty serious.
I tried to have fun.
But I'm all about goofing off and having fun and that kind of stuff, kind of like the botched guys do, you know? But when people play the game but they don't take it seriously
enough
and they're kind of patronizing the game, and they're kind of making fun of it and doing stupid stuff just because they can, and like, no, have fun and joke around, but don't belittle the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's it. And people don't do that as much as they used to, because I think D&D is a lot more accepted than it used to be. But back in the day when I was playing, back in high school and college, it really was.
It was basically made you radioactive.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, especially in high school. So not so much in college. Because that when I was in college, I was still in the band, but I was in the basketball band, and we'd have a football team at the time, and it was a small group, and a bunch of us played D&D, so it was not that big of a deal. And you really spent most of your time hanging out with those folks, as opposed to in high school. You had to hang out with the football guys, and you had to hang out with all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway.
For me, it's probably as a DM when people try to kind of to take over the scene building and what's supposed to happen. What are you doing?
I'm just showing him my mug that you gave me for Christmas.
Yeah. I found this guy on Etsy who did that for like $20.
Yeah. So anyway,
my biggest pet peeve is as a DM, it's mainly when players try to take control of the scene, and try to metagame a little bit too much and say, hey, my character does this, and I'm like, but you can't do that. But all I do is this, and I'm like, but you can't do that. You've used your turn, and just basically trying to do more than they can, and getting pissed off when they can't. And then also to kind of piggyback on Dad's thing of people kind of making fun of the game and not taking it seriously enough. That also pisses me off too. I mean,
sorry, I'm playing with my Tetris lamp.
I mean, Dad is right. I do kind of have a problem of getting too serious, and I've been trying to fix that. But it's just as a DM, if we spend too much time joking around and messing around in this one scene, and basically the NPCs are standing there going, "What's going on? These people aren't really doing anything." I just want to continue on the game,
Yeah. Well, okay, we've rambled on about that stuff enough.
A lot, yeah.
So
then want to do the movie?
Yeah, I guess we should do this movie. What do you think?
All right, fine. Let's do it.
So
let's do this.
Now it's time for the next installment of our
roll for credits.
There you go. So the movie that we watched for this movie review was Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the original Star Trek movie from 1979 with the original cast.
I thought that was just a bad memory.
Nope, it was not. It was written by Gene Roddenberry, of course, because that was back in the day. And, of course, you have to remember, 1979, that's still several years. I can't even remember what year the original series ended, but I think it was...
That's over 40 years ago.
Well, I know that.
Jeez, that was a long time ago.
But it was... God, it had been like...
just over 40 years ago.
Was it 60... I want to say it was 68, 69? No, maybe it wasn't that. Let's see. I'm going to look it up. So you talk about... So anyway, it's the original Star Trek movie, and it was the first movie by the original cast when they started doing movies. It had been the series that everybody loved. It was only on for like 3 years, and then it was gone for a long time. And then they decided they were going to make this movie, and then they did, and they made this huge movie that was 2 hours long. It's 1979, and it was 2 hours long. Over 2 hours long.
That's pushing it.
That's crazy because they didn't do movies that long back then, except for maybe like
it wasn't really 2 hours.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But there was, 2001: A Space Odyssey and those kind of movies. They were longer Stanley Kubrick movies, and someone mentioned when we were talking about the other day on the Discord that they said that they were trying to make it kind of compete with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it was not good. So I'm going to look that stuff up, and you talk about it for a minute. You want to talk about the plot? If you can remember the plot,
I can remember some of the plot. Okay, so
all right. So basically,
I can do it.
All right, you want to do it? All right.
So essentially, the plot was it's several years in the future in this timeline, and there's this giant satellite, whatever it is, on the beeline towards Earth, and this thing is taking out ships left and right to get to this place, and so the Federation, right? Is that what it's called? The Federation.
Mm-hmm.
They decide to revamp it and upgrade their best ship, the Enterprise, and send it on a mission to try and stop or investigate this anomaly in space, and so they do this. And
my Tetris strobe light going on over here.
Yeah, it's really distracting me.
Making your eye twitch.
Yes,
yeah, I'm sure
very
it is
much
because
so.
it's making mine twitch. And I wish they made these pieces heavier so they would sit better, but they're basically just a bunch of plastic with tiny light metal strips, so they bounce around really easy. And
I feel like they're supposed to be flat on the ground instead of actually standing up on each other.
Probably they should be on a shelf where we don't bump it constantly. Like
that is also true. So anyway, Kirk is asked to. That's Captain, right? Kirk.
Did you say Kirk is ass?
I said Kirk is asked to.
Okay. Gotcha.
He is not an ass.
Cool.
You're an ass. I love that face.
I created you with your mother, and you're going to talk to me like that. You can walk to Ohio with all your crap.
Dad, why do you think I'm an ass? It's genetic.
Okay, well, I'll give you that.
Okay, so anyway, Kirk is asked to basically give the Enterprise a once over and then send it off. He then decides to captain it, and then he and a few new character crew members go out and they're heading towards this anomaly. And on their way, they meet up with Spock, who was doing some kind of space meditation monk, whatever the crap, trying to be the perfect Vulcan, but his human side was being corrupted by something. We later find out it is this anomaly in space. So we continue on, and so they get closer to this anomaly, and they find a way to radio back a signal saying they're friendly, and they get past this big shield, whatever, that looks like a literal fart cloud. I'm not even joking, and then they go
blue. Aren't most fart clouds probably green?
Not in space.
What is it, the lack of oxygen makes them blue instead of green?
Yes.
Okay.
Bullcrap Science Magic.
Where did that come from? Where was that? What was that? Bullcrap Science Magic.
I came up with that term, I believe.
Yes, but where? When?
I don't know.
I forgot that. I love that phrase, Bullcrap Science Magic.
Anyway.
That should be a band name.
But
Bull. That's going to be the title of this episode.
Bullcrap Science Magic.
Bullcrap Science Magic.
Okay,
that is exactly what we're going to call this episode.
So anyway, so anyway, they go in through this cloud shield, whatever, and then they see this giant being. It's mechanical, but it's moving around like it's organic. This thing is like, okay, hey, to put things in perspective, if you guys have seen the classic film Pinocchio,
it has a big nose?
No, you remember the scene of when Pinocchio and Geppetto are inside the whale? Yeah. Pinocchio and Geppetto is the Enterprise, and you know how big the Enterprise is, and this being is the whale. That puts it into a little bit of perspective of just how massive this thing is.
Yeah.
So they go in, they get closer, and then suddenly this beam shoots down and basically abducts one of the crew members, and then uses that crew member to basically make a proxy or whatever of itself to talk to the people on board, and learn about them. Mm-hmm. And so they go further and further in, and this being is getting a little bit more and more hostile, and until eventually we find out something that's very, very surprising. I'm not going to spoil the actual ending, but it's very surprising. But all in all, it's a very, very cheesy ending, and it was not really eventful in my opinion. So that's the plot, basically. How'd I do?
Oh, are you done?
How'd I do it? How'd I do it?
It's not the worst you've done, but yeah, I mean, look, okay, here's the thing. Basically, there's a space anomaly. Kirk commandeers the Enterprise. He's an admiral at this point, but he's commandeered the Enterprise and takes it from the captain of the ship and boots him down to science officer, and then he gets booted again when Spock comes on board, and he takes over as science officer. And so the dude's like, okay, I went from being the commander of the Star Trek Enterprise to
Star Chick?
No.
You using Star Chick.
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
So,
Starship.
I went from being the commander of the Star Trek Enterprise to now I'm Spock's flunky. All he did was stand by the panels, and Spock sat in the chair and did all of his stuff, and he just sat there and leaned over and touched a button every now and then. I felt bad for the guy.
I think he was actually chief executive officer or something.
Anyway, but he was a commander because Kirk booted. Anyway, and so then they go to explore this anomaly thing. All right.
Yep.
So anyway,
I had to. I'm sorry.
It was bad on so many levels.
Please let me go first.
Okay. First of all, and I'm not talking about the fact that it was done in 1979.
I have some math that proves it was so wrong.
That's fine. Great. It's always good to have data. But I'm giving it a pass on being done in 1979. Okay, because in the late 70s, really early 80s, in the lack of a better phrase, the disco era of media. It's just I'm giving them a pass on that because everything was kind of cheesy back then. Their uniforms were completely different than they ever were anywhere else. There was no red, blue, yellow uniforms. There were all these weird polyester jumpsuit looking things. And clearly
they were very tight.
Clearly the guys didn't wear jock straps. And you could tell the religion on just about every guy. Man. Really? Come on, guys. At least wear some tighty whities and hold that sucker in a little bit tighter. We could tell which direction you leaned, all right?
That was the funniest part of the movie. Is just watching Dad's reaction, seeing every single rig.
So I'm giving it
full up close frame.
So I'm giving it a pass on just the 1979 thing, and the special effects were really bad too. But you know what? The special effects from Star Wars, the original Star Wars movies, were like 76, 77.
They were better.
They were about the same. About the same. They were models, basically. And if you look at the original Star Trek movies, now they've redone them and done a lot of their space stuff digitally now. But the original ones, you could see there was the space background, and you had your ships that were flying through space, but they were these little blocks, and the black around the spaceships was blacker than the rest of space. So you saw these spaceships coming through with little black squares around them as they were going through space. You could see that. Yeah. So now you probably couldn't tell it back then with like the lower resolution movie screens and all that kind of stuff, but with the high definition now, you could really tell. That's why they redid them in digital. So I'm not worried about the special effects and all that. It was fine for that era. Mm-hmm. But there were so many other problems that I don't care what era you did this movie in. It was just going to be bad. And I will fill in blanks because I'm sure he's going to steal some of my thunder and say the things that I'm going to say. So go for it.
Okay, so I have some actual percentages of this movie.
So you went and measured? You timed?
No. In my opinion, and of these percentages. I've posted them to the group chat, remember?
You're just now starting to do what we were just complaining about a while ago. You're just making crap up and saying, it's science. Bullcrap Science Magic. There we go again.
Anyway, okay, so let's see. In my opinion, the movie was about 40% model shots, 30% of Shatner unneeded gasping, about 10% of actual dialogue, 10% of confused gasping, and then another 10% of dramatic staring. That was basically the entire movie.
And I'm missing something, but okay. So all right, so keep talking. You go ahead. I'm going to leave the screen, and I'll be right back. I'm going to disappear through the curtain. So you do.
I will have their full attention
for literally like 5 seconds because I know where it is.
It's worth it.
So you go ahead and talk about the movie. I'll be back.
So, speaking as someone who's not really a fan of Star Trek, this didn't really help my case against it because, I mean, I know Star Trek is a fan favorite, and it's got a wide and loyal fan base, but at the same time, it's like, give us some actual content, because literally, the 16 minutes into the movie, I timed that. There was not even a full paragraph of dialogue, and at least 7 minutes of that was a very long, slow, panned model shot of the new Enterprise with Scotty, I think, and Kirk inside this round thrusterless pod moving around on the model of the Enterprise, and it's like, okay, we get it. It's got it's a saucer and two little wings coming out the ass of it. So just, I get it. Move on to the next scene. But no, it just went on and on and on with crappy looped images of Kirk and Scotty inside the pod every minute or so.
Yeah, and I try to get Connor to understand. I was looking up a while ago and I was right that Star Trek, the original series, was only on for 3 seasons, 66 through 69. This movie came out in 79, so there'd been a decade of Star Trek rabid fans wanting more Star Trek.
True.
And this was the first new Star Trek stuff in a decade from this beloved show. And so,
you're saying everyone was getting nerdgasms in the theater.
It was Star Trek porn. Okay, I mean that first. I mean, yes, I couldn't tell you how long they shot Scotty and Kirk in that shuttle, just staring at each other and staring at the ship and staring at each other and staring at the ship and saying one sentence.
7 minutes.
And so it was just so that the people in the audience could go, "It's Star Trek, it's the Enterprise," and they were freaking out. Okay, so that's why they did it. The problem, and I could give them a pass on that.
I can't.
But they did it the entire movie. The entire movie. This movie, according to IMDb, is 2 hours and 12 minutes long. This movie could have been an hour and a half. I'm telling you, there had to be at least 40 to 45 minutes of just wasted
slow motion model shots in a way.
No, not even that. Well, that plus all the dramatic stares and. When they're going in, for example, the
space whale.
When they get past the bombs or missiles or whatever those pulses that the cloud was sending out, and they were allowed to go inside, they kind of went through this little cloud space type tunnel through the cloud to get to the center, and it had to be close to 10 minutes, right?
Of just
them just showing the viewfinder and showing this tunnel that they're going through in the cloud. And then showing every one of the people on the bridge in these dramatic stares, and literally it was 10 minutes of that. No words, just space tunnel, dramatic stare, more dramatic stare, space tunnel,
and cheesy
space tunnel,
and cheesy
then more dramatic stare,
or orchestral music.
Well, I didn't really pay attention to that. I was too busy looking at the dramatic stares. They had me enthralled. So I was enwrapped.
What?
That's not a word.
Enwrapped?
No, I was in. I don't know. I forgot the word.
I'm enthralled.
Yeah, that wasn't the word I was trying to use, but maybe I was trying to combine enthralled with something else. But anyway.
Wrap.
So the reality is,
I don't think enwrap is a word.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not a real word. That's what I just said.
I know.
Not a real word. So the reality is that the movie just drug on because of that. I mean, there was probably 30 to 40 minutes of just
dramatic staring,
needless stuff where nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. It's like, okay, we need to stretch this movie out, this hour and a half movie out to 2 hours to compete with 2001. I don't know. And then it just got really convoluted at the end. So they have some space.
I will say this.
Yeah, okay.
It does have a very interesting twist ending if you don't know much about space exploration history.
Well, okay. So I'm getting to that. So, then this thing starts sending probes, and it probes the Enterprise, and it steals one of the crewmen. Oh my! It steals one of the crew. Because I'm not Sulu. I'm sorry. I'm not. Him.
My!
Anyway,
Sorry.
So, they basically steal one of the crew members. A woman,
bald chick.
yeah, who apparently came from some race
My sister.
that exuded like sexuality or something. And the commander, who became the science officer flunky,
Ex-boyfriend.
was apparently like some kind of ex-boyfriend with her, and she disappeared. But then they sent her back, but it was really just like a fake version of her,
A cyborg in a way.
and she wanted to learn more about these carbon-based entities, basically the humans, the living creatures. And he was trying to get her to understand all that stuff, and then I don't know. Now I will fully admit that I started nodding off, man. At this point, I did go back in and watch it again.
I think she called them an infestation or something like that.
I don't know. So they ended up. So Spock, Vulcan pinched some dude and got a spacesuit and jumped out of the spaceship and scooted across space inside this space cloud to the center of this thing and mind melded with some kind of energy orb. I didn't know that he could mind meld with an energy orb, and he finds out that this is kind of like a living machine, and they are looking for their creator. I don't know. Like I said, it got super convoluted, and so
very confusing.
So Kirk and Bones and Spock and Commander Space Flunky dude.
Yeah,
I almost said Space Spunky.
Space
Flunky dude. And
they do make some space.
Alien's replacement shell thrall chick.
Android. Let's say Android.
Whatever.
Let's say
they
Android.
decided to take a shuttle to the center of this cloud, to the center of the ship that they had been sucked into. And they get to the center, and
Don't spoil it.
Dude, it's 1979. If these people, and this is a geek podcast, if these people haven't seen this movie yet, they're never going to see this movie because they don't care about Star Trek.
Okay.
So, okay. 41-year-old spoiler alert. There you go. Jeez. So, and I can't say much because
it's the Voyager satellite.
Connor's never seen it, and I couldn't tell you the last time I saw this movie, so much so that I didn't remember any of it. So, they get to the center, and there's this old space-looking thing, and sitting in the center of this whole thing.
Is it? It's the Voyager probe.
And they've been. Spoiler! I was trying to build to that. Okay. Anyway, so she kept calling V'ger. V'ger needs to find his creator. V'ger. So they get there, and and Kirk's looking. He's like, V'ger, like it's doing his thing that he does.
Voyager.
And then he started rubbing on it. And on the V'ger, and saw OYA underneath, and it was a Voyager 6. It was the Voyager 6 module that sent out into space. And so I guess it made it, and so I guess the premise was it made it to some
kind of black hole
machine alien race, and they sent it back looking for its creator, and it kept gathering intel and technology, so to speak, as it went along, and kind of became its own being.
Yeah.
And it was going to Earth because that's where it came from, and it was going to destroy Earth looking for its creator. And I'm sorry, I saw this twice. I watched this twice in a week, and I still don't get it. So at some point, they had to, the alien lady and space flunky commander guy decided to hook up there in the center of this space cloud spaceship thing. Because he decided he wanted to do that to be with her, and there's a space punk, and apparently created a new life form at that moment between machine and man, and then Bones and Spock and Kirk left and got back on the Enterprise and went back home. And that was kind of the end of it.
They didn't go home.
Because they were already going back to Earth because this thing was headed towards Earth, so they're already there. So they were orbiting around Earth when all this happened. So if this sounds confusing and sounds like we're not giving it a good idea of the plot,
it's because
I don't have a good idea of the plot myself. It didn't make sense. It got pretty convoluted, and so yeah. So it wasn't that great to me.
I give it 3 out of 10.
And I'll be honest with you. I never liked Star Trek with the original cast. I just didn't like any of the kids. Spock was okay, but I didn't like any of the other characters. Although, I think the official, the first Furby was on Star Trek. The Tribbles.
Say what?
The first furry, not Furby, furry.
Oh yeah,
Furries,
yeah.
Okay. Tribbles. I think it's Tribbles.
I have no idea what those
So
are.
I didn't like the original cast. I didn't like Kirk. I never liked Kirk. Spock was okay, but they just didn't do anything for me, and it was too campy for me, that original series.
Campy?
I became, just kind of silly. Tried to be serious, but was just kind of not.
Oh, okay.
I became a Star Trek fan with Next Generation, like a lot of people did. Love Next Generation.
With Picard.
With Picard. I actually think my favorite series was Voyager. I like those characters. I
with
like
the female
that
captain, right?
Yeah, with Janeway. I like
That's
that
the name,
storyline.
Janeway.
I like that storyline because all the other Star Treks they're in our galaxy and they're going from place to place and everything. Well, they got thrown 70,000 light years away from Earth.
And they're just trying to find their way home.
And they're just trying to find their way home. And so they're meeting all these people and all these races that nobody's ever met before from the Federation. And then, they get 7 of 9 on there, who was a Borg but was trying to become human again. It doesn't hurt that it was Jerry Ryan, and it doesn't hurt that it was.
You just have a thing for Jerry Ryan.
Who doesn't?
Me.
I raised him wrong. No, seriously. And I like her too because I've met her at Dragon Con, and we just sat and talked about her gardening and her daughter and her horse riding lessons for her daughter, and just kind of talking about being a parent, which was kind of cool. She's the one that called me over to her table because she recognized my Inigo Montoya cosplay. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, I just kind of like that storyline.
Even
better.
With the bad wig?
Yeah, even with the bad wig, because it was the first year. So I'm watching Enterprise now. It's one of those that I keep meaning to watch, and I got through part of the first season like several times, and then I finally. So I'm now almost done with the second season. So I'm committed to finishing that one. I've watched Voyager a couple of times. I've tried DS9. And a lot of people say it's great when it gets later in the series.
DS9?
Deep Space Nine. But I'm sorry, Cisco did absolutely nothing for me on that show. He was the captain. He was like the commander of the space station, and just did nothing for me. So I had a really hard time with that one. I have not watched all of that one. I've watched probably the first season and a half.
Yeah.
I need to go back to that one because I do want to see all of them. But yeah, Voyager was my favorite. I just got done watching that season of Picard.
Oh yeah.
Which was good because I got that for free for a month.
Picard free for a month?
Oh, I got CBS All Access free for a month.
Oh, okay.
Because of all the Corona thing. Getting all kinds of bonuses because of Corona.
The boomer remover.
You have to be careful because I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X.
Yeah, you're Gen X.
I'm barely in the Gen X.
I think is Mom a boomer?
No, I think we're both probably considered Gen X's.
Okay. Which
sounds weird that, good grief, I'm 51, almost 52 freaking years old, and I'm a he's a Gen Xer. This shelter at home finally a time was made for us.
Am I a millennial?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
I can't be.
I think you are.
I can't be. No.
Yeah, you are.
No.
So, dude, accept your fate.
Oh my
accept
God.
your fate, Snowflake. I mean,
I can't grow a goatee and wear a beanie. No, that's not gonna be me.
You grow a pretty nasty neck beard though.
Oh no,
you have.
I hated it.
but that's all you need: neck beard and and you got the beanie because Mom made you a beanie. You got the beanie, grow the neck beard, you're good to go.
No, I can't.
You just gotta learn how to drink coffee though.
I freaking hate coffee.
Well, they usually put so much latte, cream, sugar stuff all in it.
Dad,
I drink it black.
Dad, it's just like beer. All it tastes is a bitterness at the end. That's all I taste.
Okay, so
I do not like beer.
There's so many jokes I could have said for that, and I'm just letting them all go. I'm taking the high road. Take the high road. So,
Dad, no. Take the low road.
No, I'm not taking the low road. So anyway,
low road.
I love the Star Trek universe. I haven't seen Discovery, which is also on CBS All Access,
What's
Picard.
that?
It's a new Star Trek show that's on CBS All Access. It's
Star Trek Discovery. Yeah.
And
When are they going to put Star Trek? When are they going to put Star Trek at the bed? When are they going to do that?
Never. As long as people are into it, they're never going to do it. But I'm saying all this because I like a lot of the Star Trek shows, but I never was a huge fan of the Star Trek movies, even with the Next Generation cast, and they were one of my favorite casts. I just wasn't, and they never did movies with the other cast. But I will say I was a little disappointed with Picard. A couple of the characters on there I really liked. Man, Picard is sounding really old. He's and not just sounding old, because that may be what they were trying to do, is trying to play up that old thing, but he's starting to look a little frail, and that's kind of weird to see Patrick Stewart looking kind of frail. I didn't like that. That kind of made me feel kind of all weird that Jean-Luc was starting to look frail.
One of his most pivotal roles is Charles Xavier, who is frail. He's freaking paralyzed.
I get that. He's playing a character. I'm talking about as a person, he's starting to look kind of frail.
Okay.
So anyway, and that was our chicken. If you see it because we chase chickens, and we haven't really chased many chickens this time because we've been kind of preoccupied with the whole stream thing.
I think the entire beginning is a chicken.
Oh God, man! That was like a whole hen house full of chickens. So anyway, I got nothing else to say about that movie. It was,
I don't either.
Even disregarding the fact that it was done in 1979, you got the cheesy stuff from the late 70s disco era type mentality going on. The story was convoluted and confusing,
when
especially
they beamed
at the
Bones
end.
up.
Well,
the Bones had the freaking mullet.
He didn't have a mullet. No, he didn't have a mullet, but he had the beard. He didn't have a mullet, but he had the 1970s disco gold medallion he was wearing. And I'm like, are you serious? You might as well be wearing a mood ring, dude. I mean, come on. Really? Could you have made it any more hip 70s look? But anyway.
He looked just like heavily bearded Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. Just like him.
Yeah, well, maybe. But it didn't age well, okay? And especially for new Star Trek fans want to go back and watch the old movies, does nothing for them because there's so much homage to the old fans that have been waiting for a decade for more Star Trek that just made the story last forever for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I
did not stand well to the test of time.
No, it didn't. It didn't. And I mean, the model work for the spaceships, they did a really good job because
they did.
It was pretty realistic looking, most of it. The spaceship models, the big cloud thing, and the wormhole that they went through. It's like, okay, yeah, that's late 70s, early 80s graphics.
That's
okay.
the thing that happened, yeah.
But the spaceship models were pretty good. I will admit that. But it just didn't age well for me. And if you're a long-term Star Trek fan and you just want to be a completionist, if you haven't ever seen it, or if you just want to go back and watch it because it arouses all these nostalgic feelings for you. Oh my!
That was close.
So then that's cool. It's just like with the Star Trek movies. The original trilogy is my favorite. I think it's the best.
The original trilogy?
Yeah, episode 4, 5, and 6.
Oh,
the ones that were originally done.
Star Wars.
Yeah, did I say Star Trek?
Yes, you did.
Sorry, Star Wars. The original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, were my favorite. I think those were the best. And I was talking to your brother Luke.
I think so too.
And I was talking to your brother Luke, one time about it, and his favorite, the ones that he thinks are the best out of all 9 movies, is episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Disown him right now.
Which most people say are the weakest of all of them. But here's the thing. He saw those 3 movies around the same age that I was when I saw episode 4, 5, and 6.
True.
So it's a combination of the movie that you're watching at the age that you're watching them at that has the impact, right? So I think kids that are like in their 7 to 10 year range, 11-year range that are watching episodes 7, 8, 9 now will say those are the best.
Oh my gosh, no.
You know, no, I mean, I would say that's the second best trilogy of the three. I know
Yeah.
they had problems with them, and people say, "Well, Episode 7 was going in this direction, Episode 8 went in this direction, and Episode 9 went back to Episode 7's direction." Okay, whatever.
Who
If you
gives
wanna
a
pick
crap?
yeah, so whatever. But so I think if you're a long-term Star Trek fan, you want to go back for nostalgia's sake, great. If you want to be a completionist and see all of it because you just love the whole Star Wars thing,
Star
great.
Trek.
Oh, golly. Star Trek. Damn it. Sorry. I'm just going to get all kinds of hate mail because I'm mixing those two up. Sorry.
At Head Gamer on Twitter.
There you go.
At
there
Head
you go.
Gamer.
There you go. So I'm always calling you out, so you can call me out. So I think that's okay. But if you're wanting to kind of just see the movies and you're more of a casual fan like I am, and you're not there for the nostalgia's sake and the history's sake and everything,
It's not worth it.
it doesn't hold up at all. So, I mean, Kirk was Kirk. Kirk was the same Kirk that he always was. I thought it was kind of funny that when
always what
when
Kirk
Connor
is.
when Connor first saw Kirk on the, he says, "Is that Kirk?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Is that Shatner?" "Yeah." "Wait a minute. His face is skinny. He's got like this big round head now." I'm like, "Yeah, because it's 40 years later." He's 40 years older than he was then. Of course he's older and fatter. Last movie you and I saw him in, he was getting drunk in a DJ booth in Krampus.
Oh my God!
That's the last movie you and I saw him in. So
The last thing
anyway,
I saw him in was Psych.
Yeah.
I'm playing Juliet's dad. I think.
okay. So all right.
what I saw him in.
So why? So I'm done with Star Trek. I'm
Yeah.
done with Star Trek. So are we wanting to pick our next one?
Yes.
All right.
please.
So grab out your dice and let's
All
go.
right. I'd move a claptrap.
Get your notes.
All right. So first,
High low.
high low. to see
Low
what
is
we get.
Amazon. Oh, there you go. Drop your dice.
8.
All right. So that would be Amazon.
All right, and then we do
I wanna
we
start
do a
pulling it up
D10
over
for the
here.
genre.
Okay.
All right. 10.
So that's what? Thriller? Thriller. All right.
Yep.
So a
All right.
thriller movie on Amazon Prime.
All right, and then let's see what we get. 96.
Ooh, okay. So y'all hang tight.
This is
Okay.
quality content right here.
Number 96 on the thriller category of Amazon Prime
Is
I don't need that. Talk about production value. Siberia.
ooh, that sounds
It's
interesting.
a 2018 movie starring Keanu Reeves.
Finally,
It's a
nothing
cri-
Keanu makes is ever bad.
It's a crime / romance / thriller. And it says, when an American diamond trader's Russian partner goes missing, he journeys to Siberia in search of him, but instead begins a love affair.
Ooh my.
Okay. Oh,
Oh
my.
my.
So that's our movie for
my.
now. Oh, and the Metascore for this movie is 34
What does that mean?
out of 100.
What does that mean?
That
bad?
means out of multiple reviews of this movie, the average review score is 34 out of 100.
Oh, so it's bad.
Let's see. 63, 58, 42, 40, 38, 30, 30, 30, 25, 25.
Well,
Oh,
how
my
could
goodness.
How could they say such things about Keanu Reeves?
It says, okay, here's a okay, the New York Times, a leaden thriller. The Observer, which is Rex Reed, who's a well-known movie review, he says everything is tenuous, including a performance by Keanu Reeves that borders on catatonia. Just because he stopped shaving doesn't mean he can suddenly act. Oh my
gosh!
So
You must have felt pissed when you read
So
that.
this might be interesting. So our next movie is going to be Siberia, from 2018, starring Keanu Reeves, and so there's that. All right, it's time to wind this thing down, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So
We've
what
been
else
rambling
you
for a little.
what else you got going on? What else is
I'm looking for jobs in Ohio.
good?
I'm also looking at apartments.
Good.
Um,
Because Connor moved up because their plan has been for months that they were going to move.
in
in
September.
September.
But
That's
but
been
now
moved up to July.
Yeah.
Because she is concerned, Nikki is concerned that once the weather starts to cool off, that the corona stuff might have a second bump.
Yeah.
And so time in between, in the middle of summer when it's really hot, may be a better time. So they've moved it up to July. So he's got to get going here. So, all right, I got nothing going on except work. I've been doing a lot of telework because of the whole
Corona.
And I'm allowed to stay home and work because I live 55 miles away from the base.
Yeah.
And technically they say they don't want anybody within 50 miles to drive to base, even though it's kind of hard to do the psych doc thing from the computer, but I have been. This room here has been my teleworking office for 2 weeks and about to be for the third week. It hasn't been too bad, but it's nice to just get out here and get in this fortress of solitude, this shipping container that we call a podcast area, and just get
For
to
some
work
reason,
and
he insists on calling it a redneck TARDIS.
I should put up a picture of the outside of it.
No,
it's
you
nothing
shouldn't.
but 4 blue walls. Well, 3 because this one's against that wall. Oh, by the way, fake foam with a nylon brick sheet over it. Fake.
That's a good boy.
Not a green screen, not a real brick wall, not even a fake brick wall. It's a sheet.
These bricks are curved. You realize that, right? They're curved. They're literally curved. So of course they could tell.
Maybe it's art. I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, he just hit me. For those not watching, which nobody is after Travis, because I think Travis left him once he helped us.
I should pop
Once
you
he
again.
helped us troubleshoot some of those things,
Yeah.
he bailed, which is cool. And I appreciate him just giving us some ideas.
I think I saw some other stuff though.
Oh, and somebody, sorry, I haven't been over here, and somebody named Radical 3D. So anyway, okay.
What'd he say?
He just said, good stream name and really see the variety here. Cool. And mainly the reason why it's variety is because we're both ADHD as the day is long, and
he could be speaking sarcastically though.
He could be. He could be. We don't know.
Everyone when online eventually sounds like Chandler from Friends.
So anyway, the point is, so that's something else that maybe we'll do that next time if we can figure out some of the things and be a little bit smoother. We'll do our reintroductions because we haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
So okay, so yeah, doing the teleworking thing. The hardest part has been having to try to document every hour of my day of doing something work related. Because my job is, there's a lot of waiting to try to get people to talk to me about things. Because I work for the military and I'm a psychologist, so they don't even want to come talk to me much.
Yeah.
But I got some things that keep me busy this week. But otherwise, I'm pretty much maxed out on Destiny 2. I'm
Finally.
I was doing the grind thing to try to get my light level up, and it's up as high as it'll go, apart from some pinnacle drops that I can get every week, which are easier now, because it used to be you had to do raids or something like that to get the pinnacle drops, which is to increase your gear higher.
I have no idea what this is, people. I have no idea what this is.
You do though. But now your strike playlist,
don't.
your Gambit playlist, your Vanguard, your Crucible playlist will give you pinnacle gear.
The X-Men are in there?
Oh my gosh, no. And so that's pretty easy to just run those really easy and get some pinnacle gear every week. No, the only thing that I'm doing now is I'm trying to run Nightfall strikes to get the hard light catalyst.
Yeah.
Because I want that, because that'll make that gun, which is already almost like a laser, even more steady. Will be great for PvP. So, other than that, I've gotten back into Borderlands 3. Got one of my characters up to 57. I'll probably go.
I've got 2 maxed up and a third one on the way.
So you talk about me and Destiny 2. That's all you do is Borderlands 3. Come on.
And Assassin's Creed.
I hadn't seen you play Assassin's Creed in a while. It's been every time I see you on, it's Borderlands 3.
I know.
So I did started playing Nier Automata recently. Sorry, Claptrap. And which is really good. It's not what I was expecting.
Hello, traveler.
It's a Square Enix game, which of course is Japanese, and it's your typical Square Enix type graphical theme and approach.
Very first thing I see in that game is a dude falling out of a robotic womb junkless. That's the first thing I see, and I'm like,
so,
what
anyway.
the crap is this?
So yeah, it's typical Square Enix type stuff, but it's not. It's a really good game, and so I'll work through it. I'd started playing No Man's Sky,
You
but
should watch the anime then.
The No Man's Sky, it's interesting. I would really like to get to where I'm not having to farm constantly so much for resources to stay alive.
That's never going to happen.
I mean, I think it does once you can kind of create some solar panels and da-da-da-da. You don't have to do it as much. I just haven't gotten there. And it's a really chill game, and you have to kind of be in the mood to play it. You know, like later in the evening, we're just kind of chilling out. So that's what I've been doing game-wise. I have a new podcast idea that I've been working on. It's going to entail getting help from other people to do this podcast, and so that's been kind of it's going to be called the Ad Lib Archive, which was his name idea. I used to, when the kids were little,
make up stories on the fly.
Used to make up stories like randomly on the fly for bedtime stories. I didn't have an idea in my head. I would just start saying, "Once upon a time, there was da-da-da," and I would go and tell them a bedtime story. And they turned out pretty good, actually. And so what I thought about doing was starting a podcast of just doing that. But not just me. I want to get guests. I'll probably do the first one, but I want to get as many people as I can, whether they're just buddies of mine or family members or co-workers or celebrities. I've talked to a couple of celebrities, tried to talk them into doing it. And just, you know what, just make up a story. Just tell it. I don't care what kind of story it is. The only rules that I'm going to have are, one, it needs to be clean because we don't know if kids are going to be listening to it. And that's kind of something that's important to me, is kind of keeping it clean. And two,
define clean.
No harsh no really strong language, and no sex.
There can be blood and
I'm
beheading.
not as worried about that as I am the sexual content and, like, tons of F-bombs. Yes.
Okay, so,
and then that's rule number one. Rule number two is you can't think of your story. You can't think of your story idea and plan it out. You can't start thinking about your story until you hit the record button. And you just go, once upon a time, there was a da-da-da, and you go. And you just make it up as you go. And each episode will be a different story. And then hopefully I'll get a chance to maybe interview the people that did the stories, that submit them to me, and talk to them about it and talk to them about the whole process and make that up. So I'd like to do that. That would be a really fun podcast to do. There really is not a lot of effort on my part, just a little bit of editing maybe, to put them together. So if you hear this and you'd like to be part of that, let me know. You can hit me up at HeadGamer on Twitter. You can hit up this podcast at GP Variety Hour on Twitter, and we can go from there. Connor can be reached at
you can basically find me anywhere on Twitch, Twitter, Mixer, TikTok, Discord, all as Quillmeister, capital Q, capital M, and that's Meister spelled M-I-E, not E-I. So if you spell it wrong, you spell it right.
Right, and so sometimes we try to do a co-stream together on Mixer on Friday evenings, but I am always on Friday evenings. And probably on Mixer mostly because it's just kind of baked into the Xbox, so it's a little bit easier, and I think it's a little bit more stable than streaming to Twitch from the Xbox directly. So I'll be there, and that's at HeadGamer on Mixer, and feel free to join us there, and we'll kind of go from there. But that's all I've got for this episode. You got anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, so that's the last thing we got, guys. This has been episode 21 of the Gene Pool Variety Hour, and we appreciate you guys listening.
And remember, stay nerdy, my friends.